when a bulky-looking man, the police officer to be exact, asked, "Sir, little girl, are you lost? Are you okay?" The girl's reply was always, "I love you. Please be my wife." A little uncanny and unsettling, but okay. We observed the smile of the man, who thought, "Wife? Did she mess it up?" As it was not something that he hadn't heard before. He replied to her, "Maybe when you are older." The brim of the starry eyes of the girl lit up after hearing the man's answer. Gradually, time passed, and the girl grew bigger and bigger. Every time she used to say, "Hello, I am lost. I love you," the man, sheepishly, would say to her, "Come on, aren't you a bit old to get lost?" Time did not slow, it passed by, and the girl was almost as big as him, still saying, "I love you." The man could not understand it all. He kept thinking to himself, "She got tall. She's saying that again?" 10 years had passed, and now the girl had become even taller than him. While blushing, she still said, "I love you. Please be my wife, like you promised." The man, sweating, looking into her starry eyes, thought to himself, "She has followed me and become a cop. Wait, wife? Was that not a misunderstanding?" From there began the gradual story of their love. We observed the man sitting there, bluntly looking towards someone, as a little boy came along. The man, with a smile on his face, patted the boy on his head, saying, "What's wrong?" We observed how the girl was sitting right next to him, looking towards him, saying, "So cute." The man replied, "Kids sure are cute, aren't they?" The girl said to him, "Yes, they are. But I meant you." And there came the speechless expressions. Even while the man was doing his work, writing down something, the girl kept staring at him with her starry eyes and love-stricken gaze. The man could not understand anything but still, with his eyes closed, blushed a bit. He said to her, "Are you listening?" She was a bit startled, saying, "Sorry, I was mesmerized." We observed how, in the past, the girl had made a ring for him. He said to her, "Wow, it's perfect. It fits perfectly," while she said, "I made this ring in art glass. Please take it." We observed her love-stricken gaze, which did not die down but became even crazier in her youth, as she said, "Of course, I know everything about you. That is why it fits. Please accept the real thing one day." The main character was a bit hesitant in the present time. She reminisced about how that happened. How nostalgic. You remember, don't you? Of course, the main character remembered it. He said with a blushing face, while striking to himself, "I was still a rookie, so that made me really happy. Even now, it's still precious to me." We observed that these words were enough for the woman to corner him as she struck him to the wall, saying, "I love you. I will definitely get you a real ring." We observed the man, a bit nervous, with sweat pouring down his face, saying, "Did I make her mad?" We observed how, in the past, many came to her, proposing that they liked her. Every time, she expressionlessly slyly said, "Who are you? That's a stalemate, buddy." Anyways, she always used to look them in the eyes and say, "Sorry, I have already found someone that I have decided to marry." As gradually time went by, more and more men came, from elementary to high school and even middle school. She always rejected every man, even those who said, "Let's at least start off as friends." She bluntly said, "Not interested." But whenever she looked into the eyes of him, the sparkle was out of this world. The main character just looked towards her, thinking, "She is always sparkling." Oh, while she thought, "Marry me only before the person you love does." She sparkled. The main character was drinking with his friends when someone said, "By the way, there's that one kid who always followed you and became an officer, right? How is it going?" The main character was a bit hesitant to talk about it, but his friends teased him, saying, "I'm glad you're enjoying yourself, but she's single-mindedly chasing after me since we met 10 years ago." The main character remembered how every time she visited him, she said, "I love you, marry me, please be my wife." He never thought she would have become an officer, chasing after him. The main character thought, "It feels like I'm slowly being cornered as her sparkling gaze locks onto me." His friend said, "An earnest girl like that, You should respond to her. You don't have a girlfriend right now anyways. He said, I knew her since she was in elementary school, you know? Be honest, what do you think of her? Not like you hate her, right? His friends asked him this question. The main character said honestly, well, she is a bit childish, straightforward, and has starry eyes, but she is also very strong-willed. She is a lovely girl, but I would like her to find happiness with a more suitable person and not with an old man like me. We observed how, hearing these words, his friends teared up, crying, like this, the only man that could make her happy is you. The main character was a bit surprised, thinking to himself, did I say anything gross? We observed how they normally act in front of other people. She acts austere, and the main character is also always calm and aloof. But when they see each other and are in front of each other, she is love-struck, her eyes glowing with sparkle, and the main character is always flustered, watching her blushy face in front of his eyes. Truly, a match made in heaven. We observe their height. The main character is 185 centimeters, while she is 192 centimeters. Even though normal kids that met both of them said, "You are huge," police officers that are taller than the vending machines. We observed how the girl came in, asking for the main character with some papers in her hands, and watched the main character snoozing off on his break, with his eyes closed and his hand resting on his face. Watching him like this, she was absolutely in a fidget, speechless. As her eyes sparkled, the observer said, "Oni-san," blushingly. She remembered when she was a kid, she always used to call the main character Oni-san. It was 10 years ago. She thought to herself, blushing, I am 20 now. What am I doing? I just wanted to try calling him again like that. The main character mumbled something as he was lost in sleep, saying, "Ah, Itsu-chan." Half asleep and drowsy, he took the name of the girl like that. He soon realized that he had messed up, sweating, as this was what he used to call the girl every time they met when she was a little smaller. We observed her coming closer to the main character, blushing and trembling all over. The main character said to her, "Officer Hayasaka, sorry, that was an accident." It looked like she wasn't going to hear any excuses now. If you want to know, it looks like some ladies are saying our middle-aged main character, oh my, is noticing how the local police officer is looking sexy today. Well, it seems in their eyes he's blushing, while he gets a death stare from the small girl who has turned into a giant, staring into the soul of the main character. Miley is confused. Well, he hears a voice that goes, "Check out that cop. She's huge, but isn't she cute? She's kind of cute. Seriously, get her number." Her melons are quite huge too. She's so hot. It looks like there are simps simping over her as well. So, our main character slides over toward her, covering her, thinking to himself, let's hide her. This is the casual defense. He's so close, she thinks to herself as she blushes. Anyway, it looks like they've ended up in a kind of messy position. How do we end up on the floor, blushing, with both our eyes meeting? As we observe their eyes, even closer to each other, he says, Haya, Saki-san." She gets up, fixes her clothes, and says with a blushing tone, "I'm sorry for pinning you down. You were just so cute up close that I couldn't help but stare." How cute. Oh my, we see him saying, "No, it was my fault for being the one who fell." She blushes and says, "If you'll excuse me," as she leaves. The main character, trying to get his dress off, catches her staring or peeking through the door. We see him blushing, saying, "That's bad for my heart. I shouldn't think of it." It looks like she's got him in a position she always wanted, to help him. He begs with a blush on his face, "Officer Hayasaka, can you please put me down?" She's proud of her actions, saying, "Chief Ito, a 10-year ongoing, 10-year age difference, huge love. I don't think there's anything bad about it." In the past, we observe how the main character used to carry her, and she blushed, saying, "Oni-san." Even when she became a middle schooler, they still talked like Odo-chan. And even in high school, they used to call each other by the same greetings they did back when she was in elementary. We observed this time in the past when she gave a present to the main character, saying, "Please take this." The shimmer in her eyes couldn't be forgotten by the main character. He was a bit hesitant because today is Valentine's Day. "I can't accept things on the job," he said. He thinks to himself, what should I do? It pains me to refuse. She says, don't worry. I already know that policemen can't accept gifts. I did my research, so instead, I brought you a love letter, a box full. The main character thinks to himself, it looks like she's written me multiple letters, enough to fill a box. Later, he reads every single one of them. Wow, there's a lot. He rustles, but he blushes and thinks, it makes me happy. She really put her feelings into this. He catches a shimmering idea in his mind that we observe how. The next day, he called her and greeted her. Then he says, here's my return gift for Valentine's. I also wrote a letter to you since I can't give you anything. We see her love-throbbing eyes and giggling blush as she thinks to herself, I love him. Well, guys, this was it for today. More such series are going to come on the channel, so make sure to subscribe. Pretty please.